Hey people, I'm the Broken Puppet and welcome back to my daily tutorials. Today we're going to be drawing the samurai hat you see on the right hand side. It's going to be exactly the way you see it. It's going to be the exact image we end up drawing. So here we go people. So it's going to be full thing and I'm going to go through everything, the build up, the structure. I'm going to start off with a circle. It's going to be the basis to build up his helmet and his face and we'll work everything off of this. So now we've got that, we're going to bring this little curved V shape just underneath the bottom of that circle. A little line just through the centre and a line curving through the middle of the whole head. On either side you're going to do this curved box and a long rectangular curve just above that halfway line. And you can see it on the right hand side, that's going to bring up his helmet. We've got this long U shape with pointy parts and that's going to bring up the base of his emblem on top of his helmet. The big curve at the back, and that's going to be the structure of it. And then these two little box shapes just on the bottom, just to create the base of the armour that goes around the back of his neck. We're going to sketch a little line just going from about the middle of his head, just going all the way down. It's going to create a spine shape, just so we can build off the rest of the body off of this. Two little circles, little line across, that's going to be the shoulders. And from this we can create the arms, and then once we've got that we can basically get the basic form and start building, blocking in all the armour and pieces we want in there. So you see two little circles, just kind of build up the shape of his arm. And on either side I've got these big large rectangles. They're just basic like outlines. So as you can see, you've got the armour plate on the shoulders. So you can see here I'm just putting this little circular cylinder shape just around the upper arm. And I'm going to do the same around the forearms just to create that base of his forearm armour. You know, quite a straight edge because that's what I want the armour plating to look like. The hand gave me these box shapes, just little box shapes just to kind of give the basics of the front bit. You know, we're going to a little curve and some little sort of parts for the fingers here. So another block shape divided into 4, just to create the basic sort of positioning of those fingers. A little circle just in the centre of his chest as well, just create a centre part of his chest plate. And a little curved rectangle underneath his chin, and a little circle sort of part just to create the side of his hip armour and under his neck armour. Here I'll put 2 lines just going around that jawline. And a big curve at the bottom, as you can see, it's going to be where the rope sits. So I'm just going to position where I want his jaw and where I want the rope to sit around it. Just sketching the rest of his arm part there. So a little rectangle to create the armour bit, the lower part of his body. So you've got the box shape around his waist belt. And some rectangles to create the armour plate around his legs. And then we've got that done, we can sort of raise it down just a little touch and start going into more detail. So I'm going to start off with the top of his hat and just refining it and putting all the detail I want in there. So you see the base of his top emblem, I've got this little dips into there. The helmet, I'll put the extra lines in the centre, the little circles going up. The front part of his head plate there, I've got an extra line just going through. And the side arm parts on his head there, I've got a lot more detail in, so I've got these blocks going the whole way through, these little rectangles, an additional line around the edge. And it's going to curve around, loop around like so. Now it's all sketchy at this point, we're still going to fine line over the top of this, so don't worry about getting it perfect. It's just an idea. Now I divided that line up in the centre into like 5 little lines, 5 sections rather. And then 2 of those are going to be 2 curved lines out and 2 curved lines just above it to create the top part of the eyelids. Little curved lines underneath to create the bottom part of the eyelids, and 2 little circles inside just to create the pupils. Once we've got it done, just going to add a little bit of detail, just add some eyebrows around the top and a little curved line just on the inner part of the eyes, just to create a little droop and a little bit of shadow underneath the eye. For his nose, I'm going to put in this triangle base and 2 little circles on the side just to rough position where I'm going to put this in. A little curved line for the nostrils, some curved lines around the outside. I'm going to add some more detail lines at the inside now, so just kind of following that nostril shape, curving around, a few little lines just flicking in. And just find a few little details on the head there, so just a bit more dark in the pupils. I'm just reinforcing the shape now for the rope going around his chin. So I've made a bit wider lines, and then once I've got those lines in now, I'm just bringing those curved lines, just like S shapes, bending around to make it look rope-like. The centre part there, I've just got 2 loops. And now these inner masks, now I've got the outside done, I can make the inner mask. So it's curved lines, creating a base of it. I'm going to add the teeth in here now, on the corners. A little bit of the upper lip. And just underneath all that, I'm going to add in a little line, and then some drop lines to create some bottle teeth. I'm just going to build up section by section and refine little bits. So here I'm going to put a rough detail in for that lower part of the rope. Just quite divide it into 3 little bits and just going to work out where I want to place it. And refine the detail there, so I see a few bends and a kind of layer in the way it sits, you know, one's behind the other, behind the other. And now I'm going on to his shoulder, and you see these 4 rectangular shapes now put in there, just make it a bit more interesting that fits in that box shape. And once I've got that done, I'm going to bring in little circles all the way across, a little loop on top, a secondary line at the bottom and some lines coming down. I'm going to do this for pretty much all three of those, except for the top one's going to be slightly different, as you can see on the right hand side. A little curved line just for the ropes on either side as well, when you can see them. So it's the exact same pattern on each one of those three, just to the bottom. And the top one's a bit similar, except it doesn't have the downward lines. Instead, it's got this nice diamond shape in the middle. You know, it just kind of finishes it off. So these side part of the helmets, those block shapes, are then divided, curving through into 4 little sections. I'm going to sort of go over the edge of those, create secondary lines and little loops just above to kind of give a hint of rope holding it underneath. Just put a little extra detail just in that bit of this sword in the background. Nothing too crazy, it's pretty much just a rectangle. Now that under the chin detail, so very similar to the arm plate on the shoulders, curves around, little circles at the bottom, a little grid shape into lines. And then the other side of his helmet is going to be the same concept, just a bit sort of shorter and a bit more to the side because of the face angle. I'm not going to put much detail on there because you can see it's going to be like metallic, so it's going to have a nice shine on it. Getting down to his arm now. So I've got this box at the back which is going to be his armor plating, and 2 curved lines creating a little bit of rope that's going to come off of there. Putting the extra detail of his clothing, so where I've got that sort of shape, a few little bends here and there, just to make it a bit more interesting. The front part of his gauntlet is going to be sort of diamond tips at the end, so it's going to be a sort of more bill point, curving back, a little line down the centre, 3 spaces in between. A little curve on the other side, and some little lines just to kind of join it up. Just put a little more sort of detailing on the clothes now, sort of one little part down the bottom where the sword's going to go. You don't want to go over that. I'm going to go to the front part of his hand, so the detailed glove, bit around it. So I've got this box shape and this other box shape around. And then secondary lines inside that. You know, it's a real simple technique, but it looks really good, especially on the hands. And I'm going to go on to the other arm now. So the same kind of concept for the gauntlet, just a bit more of a different angle. So going up, that sort of tip towards the end, line down the centre, 3 little hashtags, hashtags, little dashes to it rather, and then some extra double lines going around it. The front part of the glove there, you're not going to see too much at this angle, so I'm going to make it box shape, and then just reinforce the fingers afterwards. Putting the sword shape, so the bottom rectangle at the bottom, box shape to make the hilt, and the lines pretty much go straight up. You know, it's not really too much to the sword. The background there, the other shoulder pad, I'm going to place that in there. So getting these rectangle shapes to build up again. The exact same pattern work. I want it to be symmetric to the other one, except for the last one because you're not going to see too much because of the angle. So see, it's all kind of building up really nice now. You've got like a nice kind of pattern work, nice sort of shape to him. So I'm going to go to the side of his hip now. So the side arm plate, you know, it's going to be 2 loops curving around and the secondary line just mimicking the shape. A line around the belly part. And I've got this nice little tag that just kind of comes off underneath his under chin armour. It just kind of gives something a bit more interesting in that area. I was going to feel a bit kind of like an empty space. Add a bit of clothing detail, just a bit of his fabric in the background, and a little hint of the rope. On his stomach, I'm going to put that pattern work. And just on the other part of his back of his arm, just a little bit more detail on the armour as well. So I'm going to go down to his sword now. So you've got a rectangle shape. I've got these cross lines going through either way to create this nice little diamond pattern, just going up the hilt of the arm, hilt of the sword rather. So a little bit of rope just wrapping around the base and curving down. And now similar to the upper shoulders, we're going to draw these rectangles to create the lower armour base. And once I've got that, it's going to refine it. And a very similar sort of thing, I've sketched this in pretty roughly. So the secondary line and the straight lines coming up, just like you see on the right hand side. Just bringing some little flick lines coming across to create a base of that belt bit. And a nice curve just to create the side of his stomach. Putting some wiggle lines here just to create where the belt's going to droop down and where the fabric's going to kind of come off. And just kind of get a sense of that free flowing shape. And the left hand side, it's going to be the exact same as the right hand side. So drawing these rectangles, secondary lines and straight lines, just to finish off the armour plating. And once you've done this, we can go on to like the pen work, or you can have it as pencil work. But these kind of ones, I really like to do pen, so it's nice and super neat. So I'll go over it in all my nice fine liner pen. Use something like a Unipin fine liner, and then just erase all the pencil work, and you get a nice, really crisp finish, just like this. And once I've got this done, I'm going to the shading. So I'm going to systematically just go from the top all the way down, section by section. So here I put this shade just through the centre part of the helmet, and a bit of black at the top. Here I put this little shine coming diagonally. So if you sort of follow the shade diagonally, you get like a nice shine to it. And I'm going to follow this through on the top parts, making it a bit wider as it goes further up. You know, because it's a bigger section, so I like to make it feel like it is with a wider shadow. The forehead piece there, just a little bit of shadow underneath the top part, and a little bit of black in the centre part fading out on that secondary line. A little bit around the background, just filling a bit of shadow. And the side part of his helmet here, I've got black coming down the centre part, fading out. And the little boxes I've done in negative, so it's black from the outside coming in. You know, I like to do that. I think it gives a really nice effect when you have black coming from the outside coming in, and then the shadow on the inside part from the inside going outwards. A bit of shadow just around the eyes, so just above the eyelids. And a bit more just around the side of the face, just going around, just kind of filling the space. A bit of shadow from the corners. I'm not going to go down to his nose, so on a halfway split, a bit of shadow just going to the right hand side. A bit of shadow underneath the nose and that tip, just like that. And a bit of shadow just come from the sides. You know, whenever there's a nice little line, just kind of flick a bit of shadow in there, just kind of refine it. Black out the centre part of the mouth, you know, we want to make that blacked out nice and dark. A little bit black on the centre part of the lips. I just black out those little background areas as well on the inside part of the helmet. And that little blackout part on the inside we can't really see. I put black in the centre part of that part of the rope, just fading outwards, and a little bit of black just fading in from the corner of the ropes. Now his clothing in the background I'm going to make quite dark, like you can see on the right hand side. So whenever I do that, I'm going to go like a nice kind of grey over the top, and then kind of refine that and go a bit more dark around it. A little bit in the rope, and just on the helmet pieces I've done two lines, two black lines fading out, going straight across to kind of give that nice metallic kind of feel to it. Similarly here on this underpart, I've got the black shadows underneath the rope, and a bit back from the left and right hand side. The clothing in the background you can see there is fairly dark, so a nice grey shadow of the whole thing, and then black from the corners just coming out. Now the armour plating on the shoulders, you can see I'm going to pretty much go underneath each one of those and fade out a nice black, except for the top one which I'm going to hit in the centre. Yeah, it's a very simple way of doing it, but it's really effective. A little bit of fabric on his elbows, going to be quite dark again, and his forearm gauntlet, I'm going to have grey more on the underside part than it is on the top to create like a little kind of feel like this bending. And I'm going to do that on both sides, like you can see on the right hand side as well. His gloves I made very dark, so I want to kind of give that same kind of feel as the fabric on his things, but I left a little bit more highlight just down the knuckles. Same concept on the lower part of the hand there, got a bit of black either side just fading up and down. So we're going to go and just like refine little bits here, just put a little bit in his stomach detail and just work our way across. A bit of shadow up and down the sword as well. So I'm just systematically just going across, just doing it as we go. A bit of shadow there just on his inner belly part. Pretty much whenever there's a corner where it sits underneath, you just want a bit of shadow just there. Going on to his his left shoulder pad on the right hand side. Just black underneath each one again. Kind of reverse way to the other one, but still setting that underneath. So when it's sort of like one sits on top, you get black underneath. Except for the bottom one, we've got a bit of black just on the top and bottom, just like you see there. It's a simple technique, but it's really effective and very commonly used in Asian tattooing. His arm detail there on the armour, I've got a bit of black just coming down the centre, fading outwards. A little bit of black on the rope, and just again, and whenever it's like a little corner or a little bit of folds underneath, got a bit of black just kind of fading off of that. The gauntlet I've done the exact same as the other one, pretty much. So darker on the lower half and lighter on the upper half. Just finish off his outside belly bit there, a bit of shadow coming down, and going down to his belt. So the belt, again, I want to be like similar to his other fabrics, so I want it very dark. So put a grey shade over the whole thing, and then put a black over the top of that. The armour plate in here, I'm going to have black coming down from the top, and just from the edges as well, to kind of give a sense that it's curving around, because it'd be curving around his whole legs. And again on the other side, it's just there, the exact same concept, black down and black from the outside, just coming around. Just like so. Now, it's a really simple technique, but it really does work. You know, got black on the inside parts here as well. Again, just put like the fabric, and then the same thing on that part of the waistband. And the sword's fairly simple. On the hilt, it's just going to be black just coming around either side. You know, black inside the diamond shapes inside it, and a little black on the edges. You know, nothing too crazy. Just like so. And that pretty much does it, people. That is how you draw this really cool samurai. I hope you like it. I've got a few more coming out this week. I'm going to have like a Samurai and Geisha kissing, a couple other ones as well. You know, each week's a new different theme, so keep your eyes out. But for now, I'm the Broken Puppet, people, and I'll see you next time. Peace.